like that? Got a little bounce to us this morning, man. We got some bounce to us this morning, Joey.
Swag to the show.
Yeah.
Like we're walking in like Brad Holmes or something.
Got my suit coat on. Welcome to the morning Woodward Show. It is Wednesday morning. Beautiful sunrise this morning on Woodward. My name is Stick. To my right.
What's going on? It's Corey.
And to my left.
It is Joey. Good morning.
And this is the morning Woodward Show. We got Art over there on production cam, and Adam standing in the background hanging out. We also got Fish in the building, and a whole lot to discuss today. Because yesterday, we obviously saw some history happen for the Detroit Lions. This is the president's last day in office, and he made some interesting pardons for Detroit that we're going to get into and talk about.
Really interesting.
And we have one of my favorite local guys. Well, he's not local anymore, but one of my favorite used to be local guys, Rob Parker, which is actually one of Corey's mentors, right, Corey?
Yes, indeed. You would not see me doing anything with sports at all if we're not for Rob. Back when I was fresh out of high school.
So much so you even rocking them on your hoodie today.
I mean, I had to.
I can't wait to get little baby Corey stories.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and all the dirt from Rob.
Yeah, you thought this was about talking to Rob about sports. No. It was just talking about Rob about you.
I mean, I don't know how much dirt he's going to have, but okay.
So, Joey, let's get into your news real quick. Go ahead, man.
So we got to start it off by welcoming Brad Holmes, the new GM to the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, welcome.
Just yesterday, watching him talk, I mean, you felt like the shift in his energy. There's so much personality in the dude that I'm really excited to see what he can bring to the city. And then the other big news was the Lions are expected to hire the Saints assistant Dan Campbell as their head coach later today, right? The Saints secondary coach, Aaron Glenn, was also confirmed on Twitter to be coming as our defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Later on at night, like pretty much around midnight, started seeing articles about him actually interviewing with other teams. So it's not yet confirmed.
Yeah, Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network yesterday said that sources close to him said that Aaron Glenn was going to be taking the defensive coordinator job, but then around 9 o'clock last night, ESPN's Josina Anderson said that he's still interested in 2 other offers from some other team. So yes, a little bit in limbo.
So we'll see what that looks like. And then the big news is Patrick Mahomes. Good news is that he's eligible to practice starting today.
Yeah, which if he can practice, he can play, right? I mean,
That's what I assume.
that's what I'm assuming.
Don't hit the field
if you
till
can
you're
dodge a
ready.
wrench, you can dodge.
You can dodge a wrench, dodge a ball. So yeah, that's great news for Kansas City, even though sad news for Chad Henne.
And just the GOAT from Michigan. And then the Wings yesterday, you guys see that overtime goal, 13 seconds in.
Yes,
To
sir.
overtime off the captain's pass, Dylan Larkin to Tyler Bertuzzi. Now we're 2-2 on the season.
I like that.
So that was definitely a great one.
We split the first 4 games at home. Now we're going on the road to face Chicago, which they're not the Blackhawks of old. So,
Right.
so I think the Red Wings are looking decent. They're kind of looking like we were hoping the Pistons would look rolling into this season. Maybe get 500, stay at that level. But I'll take any win I could get right now for any Detroit sports team.
Absolutely.
Take it.
Pretty sure that's some extra motivation with, Stevie Y in the building. So hopefully Detroit, the Pistons, with Big Sean coming in, hopefully they'll bring some more of the former Pistons back to bring some of that culture there as well.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yes, it will. And then number 7, Michigan. I was heartbroken by their loss to Minnesota over the weekend, lost by about 20. Well, we let all that anger off on Maryland, beat them by 24 yesterday.
Absolute beatdown. Absolute beatdown.
I watched it. Livers looked damn good, and they did not let up at all. They looked like they were playing with their hair on fire. They just straight up kicked their ass.
Juwan Howard in that pregame was probably like, don't let what happened with Minnesota happen tonight.
Yeah, Wagner once again looked amazing. I love this team. I love the way they play. They got that, the swag. They got that swag, Corey.
And it's only going to increase, which is crazy. He's in his 2nd year, and they look this good.
Right.
Hey, I'm going to be honest. Thank you, Beeline, for, leaving like a thief in the night.
Yeah.
we wouldn't have gotten this.
Yeah, I mean, usually when you take over a program, you don't take over a good one like that right away. But Beeline, kind of snuck out the back door, but he left a good program behind, so you can't fault him for that.
And last but not least, the Pistons. They are back again. Playing tonight, 7:30 against the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited for more Pistons basketball.
And you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. we're going to win tonight by 10 points.
Oh, I thought you were going to save that for the pregame that we're going to do later, but you know what? I like it, Corey. Call your shot.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. One more thing I wanted to add in there, though. Other news, not really sports related, but big news in Michigan is the Michigan Gambling Control Board. They announced online gambling can start Friday starting at noon.
Yeah, baby.
That's crazy.
Just in time for that championship game.
Just in time.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be dangerous.
And if you love online gambling, hit up MyBookie. I mean,
Yes.
that's where you can already do it. You can already get your prop bets in and all that good stuff. And if you see the beautiful sign behind us, you just drop the code word Woodward in there, and they'll hook you up with 50% of your deposit. So if you deposit $1,000, you get $500.
It's a win-win right there.
Yeah, get that gambling on. Let's go. Are you guys going to turn into bigger gamblers now that it's going to be legal?
Oh, boy. Art sent us this article right away, so I want to hear what his take is going to be.
Art, are you going to go full out gambling now?
Yeah, I will admit I kind of have a gambling problem.
Really?
Really? Yeah,
What do you
it's
gamble
bad.
on?
Well, I won like $4,000 betting on Conor McGregor one time, and ever since then it's been chasing the Purple Dragon. I've just been trying. So,
What fight was that you bet on?
Chad Mendez fight.
We're going to talk a little bit about the Conor McGregor fight coming up later, and we'll spend some more time on it tomorrow. Are you betting on this fight this weekend?
Yes.
All right, I like it.
Well, the thing is you get the bonuses. So you get like $100 free. You know, there's a lot of online gambling sites, so I plan to use all 100 on it for the fight.
All the free money that you can get, you're putting it down.
Yep.
You are a brave man, Art. Joe, you ever gamble on anything?
I've done like on apps and all that.
Yeah.
I've never sports gambled in my life yet.
Okay.
But I've gone like casino and done some things there and there.
Yeah, I like going to the sports book and gambling, man. It's a lot of fun, and it adds interest in games you don't really give a shit about.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden you're the biggest fan of Northwestern Tulsa Tech A&M. Like all of a sudden I'm rooting for these guys out of nowhere.
And like when we talk about MyBookie and you see how easy they make it, it's in the palm of your hands. You also get great credits when you sign up. Like it's something you got to take advantage of.
Yeah.
So that's why for me, now that I don't actually have to go to the casino, I can just do that from home.
Corey, you a gambler at all?
I dabble, but I do think that now with it being online and legal in here, the temptation to resist is going to be so weak.
Yeah, Adam's behind Art right now, thrusting, doing a gambling dance because I think Adam's a little excited to make a little money. So yeah, gambling starts Friday. Get your pocketbooks ready. Don't go into debt though. Honestly, they have to run those disclaimers because people do take this shit overboard. Like every time you hear a gambling commercial, you gotta hear, if you do have a problem with gambling, call 1-800 I can't help myself.
Gambling helpline number.
Yeah.
Let me drop that number real quick.
I do have the number.
You do? What is it?
It's 1-800-277-7117.
Jeez, Art.
I remember because I hear the commercials and I'm like, oh, maybe I do have a problem.
Is
no,
that
I don't.
right?
Have you called them yet?
No, it's not that bad. Like honestly, I'll grab like my check and play like $20. Like it's not. I mean, it used to be bad, but I have it under control.
Good for you, man.
Except for this weekend.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be easy now on your phone.
We got to shout out to Mason, to Bree, to Modi, to Jenna, to Eric, to Rob, to Greg, and everybody else checking in right now. Not only on Facebook Live, on Twitter, we're live, and on YouTube. Shout out to everybody that's supporting the show this morning, sharing this, getting the word out there about the Morning Wood Show and about the Woodward Sports Network. Don't forget, we got Baligian and Bell coming up at 11 o'clock. But, I mean, the biggest news for Michigan or just for the Detroit area yesterday was we officially have a new GM for the Lions. And Corey was able to get in on the call.
Hey, it was so many people in there. Like I think it was like 60 on that Zoom call, and as soon as that queue went up, I just went in like Woods question, and I got in the queue.
So you wouldn't tell us what your question was going to be yesterday morning because you didn't want some hack stealing it from you and going on and getting your question in before you, because that has to be the most frustrating thing as a reporter.
Oh yeah, and then the thing is, they did not ask the question. I got it off, so I was happy.
All right,
Nice.
well, we have the audio and we have the video of your question. Art,
I will say this though.
Go ahead, throw it to it, Corey.
They normally in the Zoom calls, they mute everybody, so you just we only hear the background noise talking. So they said Corey Woods, Woodward Sports, and then I'm like, okay, I'm talking, and there's nothing coming out. And he's looking like, huh? And I'm like, oh crap, I'm gonna mute myself now. You're setting me up for failure. I almost didn't get my question off, but That's just wanted to explain that disclaimer before you watch the video. I wasn't nervous. I almost got played.
Corey's that uncle, like, how do you turn the camera on? Do you hear me?
Can you set the timer on this? What's going on? All right, let's see what you had to ask the new GM of the Detroit Lions.
Corey Woods, Woodward Sports.
Hey, Brad, how you doing? Welcome to Detroit.
Thanks, Corey. How you doing?
Pretty good. Sorry about that. I had you on mute. I had a question. So the discrepancy between Pro Bowlers and All-Pro athletes of the Rams and the Lions is pretty large. What will be your approach of bringing that type of talent to Detroit?
Yeah, that's a great question, Corey. So, I'll start with what I was saying earlier about, how important the intangible aspect is. And, we always talk about, let's invest in reliability. And let's invest in reliable players. And obviously, we're not overlooking talent. A baseline of talent is very necessary. It is the NFL. But I truly believe that the separator of success is those players that do have those high intangible traits. And so that's a model that was used with the Rams that obviously bode for a lot of draft success. And, that same approach will definitely be carried over here with them.
Man, Corey Woods, ladies and gentlemen. Corey Woods.
Woo! Great question, Corey. That is how he started that one off.
I mean, I ain't gonna front. He said great question to everybody. I felt special for like about all of 5 minutes.
You could tell he's been like trained to say that, and it honestly makes reporters feel good because it's like, like you're just tuning in. You're like, man, that kid asked a great question.
Yep.
But it was a great question. Like, and how do you feel about his response to your question?
I felt it was as good as he could answer it at the moment. I mean.
Yeah,
that's really just it. That feels as good answer you can answer the moment. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the whole interview process. I thought they waited way too long to get to him. Like, my God, it was almost like a half hour, 45 minutes of
that. That was the one thing I saw on the internet that a lot of people were saying like this is amateur hour for having a half an hour. That was excessively long, but I mean I get it on the Lions end where. The fans they have not really built up any equity with fans for us to really trust them. So I guess they just really wanted to detail the process and kind of quell any concerns.
Well, and that's always been the knock on the Fords as the leadership of the Lions is that they're not forthfront. They're not out there. They're not taking those hard questions. And I thought Sheila Ford-Hamp did a really good job. I mean, she was likable. They talked about things that I cared about and like the process and what they went through to make this hire, what they were looking for, why he stood out to other people, like how it was a unanimous decision when he left the office and he was the only one that everyone was like, yeah, that guy's good.
I mean, a lot of people have given her crap all through the media, and local media, giving her crap about not knowing football and just her just inheriting something and playing around with it. But I feel since she's taken over, she's been pretty diligent in everything she said she was going to do.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and that's all we ask really as fans because it hasn't been that clear-cut direction. Like I feel like they always try beating around the bush.
Right.
But with her right now, you're getting what she's saying.
Yeah, I don't want to call her the executioner, but like she said, she held Matt Patricia accountable for something, and when he didn't come through, she fired him. There was no pushing around. It wasn't even, we're going to wait till the end of the season till we officially don't make the playoffs. It's like, I don't like the direction this is going. You're out of here. Quinn, hit the bricks. Let's start over, and let's bring in people that are going to help me make a better decision.
And it was several other interesting things about that press conference yesterday that stood out. One thing that really stood out was the fact that, remember, he started out as a PR intern with the Rams in 2003. He also got the PR job from the Lions in 2003, so he got both of them, but he had to choose between which one he wanted, and safe to say he chose the right one to go into the Rams.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. The hardest job in NFL football is probably PR for the Lions.
Oh, man.
Like keeping that name afloat in the throughout the community and all that. The Lions give back to the community. I'm not saying they don't in that way, but like they don't give you a lot to work with hyping the team up.
And another interesting thing was the fact that he was not on the original interview list. Mike Disner was watching a Rams clip, that had him, and then he was blown away, called Rod Wood, and they were like, hey, this is the guy. And He's here.
It's the guy.
Yeah.
And one thing that I thought was interesting, they kept bringing up analytics and like, we're going to play like Moneyball here almost for football, which you've heard this apply to baseball, a little bit to basketball, but baseball is really, to me, the biggest analytic sport that you have. Football, how does that really work? Like, okay, this guy can run his cone drill in 3.4. He comes out of his breaks well, so he'll make a decent safety. Like, I guess I don't fully understand the analytics, which is why I'm here and not in Ford Field. But I'm interested to see how he applies it to the Lions.
I mean, if he said he's bringing over the process from the Rams and it worked there with him having heavy input, I'm curious to see how that translates over here. Hopefully, it's not the same type of thing we're getting from New England. They're trying to recreate the Patriot way or the Rams way or whatever like that. But everything sounded very sound, clear, concise. Anybody can win a press conference and sound good, but the one thing that I really took away from him was he sounded like he wanted to be here, and he said, I know my margin of error is small.
And that's exactly it, because, you can't beat around the bush. There is so much pressure on him in his current role that it's like you just got to tell it straight as is, and hopefully you bring us some wins.
Yeah, I like how he yelled "One Pride" at the end of it.
Yeah.
Like when he was like "One Pride,"
even right when he got out the car.
Yeah,
right out the car, he started yelling it.
I like that, man. Like, let's have some energy that high, and it should trickle down. There are also a couple other questions asked during the interview that you were able to pull the clips for. What were the other questions? And let's play those back, Art.
Well, one of them that I didn't ask him, but that was asked was about his process moving forward, and he had a message to his fans. And another one was his closing statement that I thought was pretty strong from his introduction. So,
all right, let's do the message from the fans.
Yeah, there should be the trust the process one.
The trust the process. Okay, let's do that one.
If we keep the process sound and then we make the right gut intuitive decisions going forward, I believe that the Lions fan base are going to be very, very happy with the results that they see. I'm so excited about how passionate, my Uncle Ruff, Luther, he used to always educate me, and all the way up through this process and the interview process, about this Lions fan base. And he says that, they've been through ups, they've been through downs, but they're showing up every week in and week out. They're showing up and packing that house in. When he told me that, I was so excited. He just kept getting me even more excited. I said, wow, if we can deliver a winner here to this great city of Detroit, because the thing about not only passionate fan base, but you always hear Detroit as, blue collar, working class. But the more intel that I gathered on this great city is that it just seems like a city of character that just has great character. And so on top of those other great things, I think that characteristic of having great character is something that I really, really am excited.
Yeah, character is a major, major thing. And, like in Detroit, we pride ourselves on good character. We pride ourselves on being hardworking and dedicated. So I like that quote from him.
Yeah, he sounds like he's understands the pulse of the city, and that's really going to be key to any GM job here, like with Troy Weaver, what he's doing with the Detroit Pistons, understanding the pulse of the city, and that's going to be able to galvanize fans around him and the team.
Yeah.
It's going to be good, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, the young guns that we have at GM right now for pretty much all the Detroit sports teams except the Tigers are rolling, man. Like, I like this. I like the young energy. I like where they're taking the teams, and we're off and running, baby.
My thing was, when you saw him walking in, did you guys see like all the Lions videos that they did? It was like the most hype intro, like it was a rap concert. My man was about to hop on stage. It was the greatest thing.
Yeah, you love when they overproduce stuff like that. The air horn in the background. Here's our new coach. Yeah. So the one last, you got any other quotes that we should get to?
Yeah. Did you play the closing statement?
Yeah, let's play the closing statement, and then we'll wrap it up with this talk, because now we're on to head coach today, hopefully, and then the coordinators are coming through, and this is the time Detroit football starts, like this is our Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Leading up to the draft, this is our Super Bowl.
A couple days, we'll have it already.
It'll be through a collaborative approach. We will build a winning and inspired culture to serve the best football product to this great city of Detroit so we can compete for championships on a consistent basis. And I stress the word serve. I know the general manager position. It's a lot of different responsibilities, but I truly believe that it is a service role. And with that vision, anybody that been to another introductory press conferences, you're probably saying, I've heard it all before. I've heard this before, but I will say this. There will be no ego in this process. There will be no ego in the culture. And everything is about the team. Bottom line, everything is about the team. We will be extremely collaborative, very intentional, and thorough and diligent in our process to truly earn it. And we will be inspired in our process. We will be aggressively smart, and we will embrace rapid evolution. Through all of this, we will keep laser focused on the main thing, and that's improving football and to serve a championship to the city of Detroit and this passionate fan base. One pride deserves that.
Did he really just say the words championship and Detroit in the same sentence?
I think I heard it.
Did he say championship in Detroit?
Yes, he
Not
did.
playoffs.
Not playoffs.
Championship.
Not trying to get to the playoffs. Not winning a division. Dude came out with dropping champions in his presser.
That was my favorite part. I was sold after that.
It's tough because like he even said it.
You heard it all
If you've
before.
been on this, you heard everything. So really, how do you make yourself stand out from one presser? You really can't. It's just you got to give that energy, you know, to where you feel good as a Lions fan or as any part of the Lions organization, and he did.
So the question has to be asked, do you believe that this is the guy that's going to lead us to a championship? I mean, he brought it up. I did not. He brought up championship.
I don't know. It remains to be seen if he's the guy or not. But what I did like, as opposed to like looking at going back in Bob Quinn or looking at observing Matt Miller or anything like that, he had you heard passion in his voice. If you watched the whole press conference, he was on a range of emotions. One part looked like he was emotional about to cry. Other one, he got really intense. And when he was like, hey, I told Sheila Ford in the interviews that I have to be around football people. It's a non-negotiable. You have to, you cannot be non-enthusiastic about football around me. So I love it.
Yeah, who would want to work around people that aren't enthusiastic about what they do?
At that level too.
Right, like, hey, you guys ready to go to the,
Right.
you know, it's football,
Right.
you know. Like, it'd be like if Art ran the team. Like, hey, let's go, sports ball guys. Yeah, get out there with your tight pants.
One thing I just want to say, like for Lions fans, who even if you don't like the coach or the GM, just give it time, because having PTSD just about past stuff going forward, what's the point? It's no point of being a fan if you're not even going to have any hope for the future.
Speaking of, Justin Spiro's in the comments right now. He's talking about Marty Morningwig talked about Super Bowl multiple times in his. Marty Morningwig wasn't the GM though. Like,
yeah, and the difference is this guy scouted 25 Pro Bowlers and some All Pros, and they that led to Super Bowl appearances and division titles. So I don't understand that one.
Let's be honest. Every coach, every GM says the same damn bullshit. Now we just got to see what you can bring us.
Yeah.
Marty Morningwig starts saying all this. He obviously did not deliver. But the biggest thing is right now where we are, the PTSD, like we've been through it. We know how the organization has been. So now we got to be at the point to where we can at least support him and be there rooting him on instead of just bashing him off the rip.
And that's the thing, like with this guy and with most GMs, first-time GMs, you just don't know. Like nobody has intel that can tell me he's going to be bad. Nobody has really intel that can tell me he's going to be good. All I know is he did his old job very well. Hopefully he can do his new job very well.
What's that? His performances at his old job, every single thing about that was different.
Right.
So how does that compare to Detroit? He just has to take the good that he had there and apply that to Detroit and hopefully just build that organization.
Yeah, you hope that's what happens. You know, you hope he takes everything he liked and everything he learned there and now implements his own system here and he becomes his own animal. Because you don't want him to steal someone's blueprint. We've seen how that works out.
Yeah.
It does not work out.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, I did like that one thing he said. It kind of felt like it was like a thinly veiled shot at the last regime. He was saying that there's not going to be any ego in this process or in this culture. It's going to be about the team. And safe to say the Quinn Trisha was all ego.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And how can you have an ego when you look like that, dude? Like that's what just blows my mind. Like that just blows. Like how when
You're the
walk
head coach and you're walking around with a poncho,
right, and a pencil in your ear
with a laminate board. What the?
Hey, 100%. My man was like, I'm gonna make this pencil in the ear my thing. Everybody's gonna know me for this pencil.
Over under, how many times do you think they saw Patricia's ass crack during practice?
Oh man, I'm probably gonna go over 20.
Yeah, like I can just see him, like trying to get down and show him form.
Like,
And
no, this is how you do it.
Yeah,
all I get is a 3-point stance.
all of a sudden, that pure white ass is just showing. He's got his pencil in his ear, looking like a plumber. Like that's like the guy was not a leader of men.
No.
So hopefully we can see it from the upper management that this guy's a little more aggressive, a lot more well-spoken, and more approachable, I think, than Bob Quinn. Bob Quinn was kind of like squirrely, and you just didn't trust him. And
This guy seems like you want to be his friend.
yeah.
It was just like I said. It was just all energy. Like I said, anybody can win a press conference, but it just felt different.
Right.
The results remain to be seen, but it just felt different this time around.
Yeah, well, I'm happy we got the new GM in. Now we go with the coach, and let's get this thing rolling. When they were talking to him about the process, we're talking to Sheila Ford Hamp about the process of getting a GM or a head coach. She said the GM had input on the head coach. Like everybody they sat down, they asked, if you were to become a GM, who would be your head coach? Like, do you have a plan in that area? So I'm assuming that these were kind of intertwined.
She said closer towards the end of the process when they knew that Brad was the guy, they started involving him in the head coach process more, but get his input and his feedback and intel. So he had an input. He had to say so in the coach. He wasn't just thrown whoever we get.
Right. So I'm glad they actually consulted the GM, and we're not going to run into this early on.
That would be the worst too, and especially like how there was a lot of talk and speculation about how they were going to hire the head coach before the GM, and it's like, I'm glad that they did this because now he just gets to put his thing in motion.
Right.
Now, I did see something interesting. Just want to ask you both this, because remember we were all talking about we want the GM before the coach. The Jaguars did it backwards. Do you feel like that's going to work out for them, or they were just a separate situation where you don't let Urban Meyer go?
I was going to say that's a different situation. Like they had a chance to shoot a unicorn and catch it. Yeah, you do that.
You got to take on that.
You kill the unicorn. Like you get the unicorn, you put him on your squad. With Urban Meyer, what GM are you going to bring in that's going to tell him more about football than he already knows? Like, and what GM showing up for that job wouldn't want an Urban Meyer?
Exactly. That's the thing. It's like, right now with who the Lions are going back and forth on, we really don't know.
Right.
But, like, if you're a GM and you go and it's Urban Meyer, it's like, all right, well,
yeah, it is interesting. He actually made that a more desirable spot now for a GM because Urban Meyer's there. Not, well, we don't have a coach, we don't have a quarterback, we don't really have defense, we don't have...
I agree. I just thought it was interesting how that went when everybody was just like, "Oh my God, only a stupid organization would do that." I'm like, well, the Jags did it, but like I said, it's outlier.
There's exceptions to every single rule.
Exactly.
And speaking of exceptions to rules, we got Rob Parker. He's going to be on with us coming up at about 9:15. We're going to take a quick break right now. We'll be back in about 30 seconds, and then we're going to talk about some Calvin Johnson.
I like this one.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Spinning him down, putting the ball in the 1. Second and goal, and short foul goes in for the touchdown.
What's up, Jake? Yeah, I love that commercial with Joik. Joik's such a team player, except when it comes to art. Joik hates art.
He really does.
It's like
I thought it was fake, but he really hates art.
It's a love-hate. It started out as just like a joke, but now it's turned into like they're like brothers almost. Do you love that relationship, Art?
Nah, I could do without it.
Nah, he said. Nah.
I feel like Art's everybody's little brother, even though he's older than me.
Is he older than you?
Yeah,
All right.
by a lot.
Speaking of relationships, Calvin Johnson and the Detroit Lions. It's been just a weird relationship all the way around, kind of throughout the last 5, 6, 7 years. Before he retired, he didn't really want to play anymore. I don't want to say he forced himself, but he put himself out there to do one more year playing in the NFL. It didn't work out for him the way he wanted to. He said his body was hurting all the time. His just heart wasn't in the game, so he stepped away from the game. With that, the Lions, he gave them back some money, but then he asked for $1 million back of what they owed him. And it's just been a money battle ever since between $1 billion organization and a $100 million guy. Over $1 million. So that's like us fighting over $1. It really is.
That's how you compare it?
That's how I compare it.
But it's crazy like to think about it, because you would think Lions, Calvin Johnson, they both love each other.
Right.
But then you see that it's all about money that causes this, and it kind of sucks. But
I think it's bigger than money. I think it's respect. I think it's a slap in the face for okay, you really shouldn't give preferential treatment to everybody, but let's just be real. Calvin Johnson is one of the top 3, really can say maybe 2 people to ever wear a Lions jersey.
Oh, definitely in the top 3.
Yeah. So my thing is to ask him back for $1.6 million and you're $1 billion organization. It's more so like it's petty. It's a slap in the face.
Yeah,
you're better than that for all that he's done for the organization. You're gonna treat one of your he's going to the Hall of Fame, and he can't even really. How do you feel about that? One of your star players is going to the Hall of Fame
wearing your jersey,
and there's friction between the organization. You can't even really celebrate him the way that it should be, because you asked him back for $1.6 million that you probably made in 10 minutes.
Literally in 10 minutes. And you would, when you look at like our new GM stepping in, do you think it's anything for him to step in and maybe
100%
mend that relationship?
100%.
Yeah. And I see him doing that, which is why I think that's the right thing to do, because I don't like that. You know, one of the all-time great Detroit Lions players, we got to have him at least have that respect for the team that he became the all-time great.
Right. Yeah, his quote earlier in the week, he was on a podcast, and he said it hasn't really been too much communication with Detroit. I mean, every time I go on anything kind of public, you know, I get asked the question, and it's simple. It's like, yeah, it's hard for me to do anything for anyone that takes something from me, you know? I feel like after everything I did for that organization, asking them to send me back money shouldn't have been a thought, honestly. And then he added, I love football still. I give back to football any way I can, whether it's through camps or going to see different NFL teams, college, whatever you have, but to do it here at home would be great. The fans love me, I love the fans, but I can't step foot into that building after I dropped so much in there. Ouch.
Here's how the Lions should mend this. They should give him back that $1.6 million with interest, and they should also offer him a well-paying job in the organization.
Does he want that?
I mean, if you give him back that $1.6 million with interest,
yeah.
So here's the deal. I got the perfect solution to this. So, you know, Calvin's into growing weed now and, you know, his dispensaries and all that. So they make Calvin Johnson like the official CBD guy for the Lions. And now he's the ambassador for them. And he can help them with pain management. And he can help them with their weed. And all of a sudden, he's getting paid. He's part of the organization, doing something he loves. And now we got Calvin the Weed Man on the team.
Do something. Just do something in good faith, because right now, the organization is they're going in the right direction of turning it around, trying to at least put the right people in place. Go ahead and do right by one of your all-time greats.
Yeah.
The Weed Man.
The Weed Man. Calvin
imagine
the Weed
that.
Man. Can you imagine
Imagine that. That's who they announce. That's the next announcement that the organization makes.
I mean, it wouldn't be a bad situation now that weed's becoming legal for like NBA teams and all of that to just literally have your weed guy. I mean, like, you sign one guy on as your weed doctor, your dispensary guy, and that's it. you got it with like a Mike Abdenauer for the Pistons. He's their trainer, and he does like holistic medicines and stuff like that.
He's the plug.
So now, yeah, that's an official paying position on new sports team is the plug. Like
That'd
you get
be
to be
great.
the plug, dude. How awesome would that be?
The plug. That's it. Nothing
Man,
more to it.
Any Detroit sports team, if you need the plug, I'm your guy. I want to be that guy.
I wouldn't say more so on a medical side of it, but yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. No, but come on, how awesome would that be?
It would be. They just need to do something.
When I went to University of Detroit, I was kind of the plug for the basketball team there before that was even a position.
That's a little bit different.
Yeah, no,
It's
it's the exact
little
same
bit
thing.
different.
It's just now it's legal. That's literally the only difference. I'm not gonna name names, but when I'm walking around and I'm the shortest guy of the crew, it's really weird.
Yeah.
It really was an awkward feeling. So yeah, Calvin. I mean, honestly, can we start a GoFundMe?
Wow. Wait, how much are we trying to get?
1.6 million.
interest?
Like we'll settle the debt. We'll settle the debt just to get Calvin back into the Lions office, back into Ford Field. You guys down? Can we create a
1.6K? We got to get 1.6 M.
I don't
That's a lot
care.
of money.
Whatever. We'll chip in whatever we can. Whatever we could get. 1.6 million. That'd be great. But whatever.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, got it in Monopoly money. I got it.
That's awesome. So yeah, Calvin Johnson. I mean, the voting for the first ballot Hall of Fame went on yesterday, and we're gonna find out about that in what?
On February 6th, the NFL honors. This is the day before the Super Bowl. That's when President David Baker, Hall of Fame President David Baker, goes around and does the knock. And hopefully they figure it out because it would be a shame to have Calvin go into the Hall and he's not honored properly by the organization.
No, especially as a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like, if he goes in on first ballot and he's still not, like, they literally have a timetable to wrap this thing up. They got 2 weeks to make this right, and that's it. Two weeks. Make this right with Calvin before he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame so he can stand up there proud in his Lions jersey when he's announced that he's a first ballot.
Hey, do it. Just really that simple. If you see first ballot, this should be like a Cash App, a Zelle, Venmo. Just hey Calvin, what's your info?
Right. Hey, Calvin, here's some crypto. Whatever you need.
Yeah,
whatever
literally
you need,
anything
man.
you need. Here it is.
Yeah, pay this man. Pay him his money, man. So that's our Calvin Johnson update. Hopefully they get all that straightened out. Like I said, before they announce that he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Because how Lion-esque would it be to, first ballot Hall of Famers are few and far between. But for us to have one and not be able to really claim him because he doesn't want anything to do with the organization.
That would be such, you know what? It would be, honestly, the same type of feeling that those former players have for Matt Patricia. It would be bad.
Right. Yeah. So hopefully Calvin gets all that straightened out. We got people calling Megatron CBDs, CJ CBD, and I think that'd be hilarious, man. Like, make him in charge of that. And if you're into CBD and all that good stuff, growing and whatnot, growgreenmi.com is where you need to go right now. And if you mention Woodward Sports, they're going to hook you up with a free t-shirt. They got all your growing supplies, all your soil, all your lights, all your watering, all your nutrients, everything that you could possibly imagine. And it's a $50 flat rate shipping fee for anywhere in Michigan. Plus, if you got an order that's really big and like over $5,000 with somebody else, they'll price match it and beat it. So go to Grow Green MI today, and they will hook it up. And thank you to Grow Green for being a part of the Woodward Sports Network. We appreciate
Grow Green
you.
is?
Huh?
Grow Green is the plug.
Grow Green is the plug.
They are the plug.
They are the plug. So we wanted to talk about, we've been talking a lot about the Lions today. And I guess we should stay on it because it came out, the schedule for next year. We know who we're going to be playing now. And the Lions have the 5th toughest schedule in the NFL coming up next year. The 5th.
It looks a little ugly. I gotta admit. I looked at it at first and I said it's not that bad. And I'm like, hold on, am I high? Ooh, this could get pretty dangerous.
Like, how are we higher on this list than we even are on the draft board? It's like you the 5th. What made us deserve the 5th hardest schedule?
When you get placed with the AFC North, it's tough because we're playing on the road. We got Pittsburgh, we got Cleveland, we got Atlanta, Seattle, and the Rams. All of those teams were playoff teams. Well, all of them but Atlanta were playoff teams.
Good playoff teams.
Yes. So that is our road. And then at home, we get San Francisco, who's going to be better next year because they won't have $80 million of payroll on IR. Arizona, who's been up and coming. Philly, who's fallen apart, which is good. But then we got Baltimore, which obviously another great team, and Cincinnati. So the Lions are sitting there at number 5 on the hardest schedule for 2021.
And does that go off of 2020 records in the NFL and who has the highest winning percentage?
Yes. Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're comparing. So obviously by the end of the year, it could be completely different how teams play out. But according to this year's statistics, what we're playing next year is the 5th hardest schedule in the NFL. You know, because don't forget, we also get the Packers twice. We also get the Bears twice.
Right.
Those are both playoff teams. Like, oof, man, the Lions are going to have a rough go next year.
Ooh, you know what? I seen Jeremy Bryant just commented, and I looked at it on my Twitter. They might have a little harder schedule if we get rid of Stafford because Phillip Rivers just retired, and who knows, the coach might need a quarterback. And weren't they on the odds list?
Phillip Rivers, that's your breaking news right now. Phillip Rivers is retired.
Yep.
He said it so casually.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I just said, Phillip Rivers retired.
I mean, that's how I feel about him.
Yeah, he is like mayonnaise. He's just there. Like, it's Phillip Rivers. He's literally the art of the NFL. You know how many kids Phillip Rivers has, Art?
Why do I keep being brought into this?
Because
your football talks.
Do you know how many kids Phillip Rivers has?
5, doesn't he?
No.
10.
10.
10?
10.
He has 10 kids?
10 kids.
Same woman.
That's why he's retired.
Same woman, too.
If I was making Phillip Rivers money, though, I'd have 20 kids.
Really? That's the only thing holding you back from having more kids?
No.
You already have 7.
That and an active sex life.
Yeah, there you go. That does help. Yeah, Phillip Rivers stays smashing. He stays
Obviously.
smashing, yeah. So 10 kids, and that's what he's going to retire to, man. He's not retiring. He's actually going to work now.
I mean, shoot, now he's going to be around home more. I wonder how old is his wife, because she's probably going to go on 11, 12 around the house more.
Oh, man. He's going to hit upward 15.
She's been like career pregnant.
Yeah. Think about that. 10 kids, so 9 months each kid. That's 90 months of her life she's been pregnant.
And
90 months.
You got to keep some. There's like separation between each kid too.
Maybe
there is. There's like some rule.
Yeah, there's got to be like some heel time.
Yeah.
So
Art might know more about that. What's the heel time on a girl's vagina on that?
Yeah.
I think it's like 6 months you have to wait before you
6
have
months?
a kid. I think.
All right, so do the math. 15 months.
50, so 150 months.
Always knows. Ask the chat.
So we're literally talking about 12 years worth of just smashing this girl, her delivering kids, waiting to smash again, and then putting a baby right back up in her. Like, he's had an incredible life. How does he play football?
Maybe that's why he runs out of gas in the postseason.
Right.
Putting in work.
So Phillip Rivers, God bless you, man. Hopefully you're retiring your penis too. It's time to hang it up, man. Bronze those things, get it out there, and
he's got a beautiful family too, man. I'm looking at these pictures.
6 weeks. People are saying 6 weeks, not months.
Someone commented and said that Phillip Rivers couldn't pull out of a garage. Shout out to Jeremy.
Oh, man.
Wait, so why is Jeremy commenting on how long it took for his vagina to recover? I asked how long it takes for a vagina to recover, Jeremy.
6 weeks is what we're hearing in the chat right now.
6 weeks?
Yeah.
Why did my wife make me wait 6 months?
She just straight up lied to Art. That's why you have so many kids, so she could get a 6-month break.
Stop it, Art. Stop it. I need a break.
That's amazing.
So congratulations to Phillip Rivers. Great career. Great career. Phillip Rivers has had a very similar career to Matthew Stafford in many ways. Like they're both considered elite quarterbacks, but Phillip Rivers had a little more luck in the playoffs. Obviously,
yeah,
he went a little bit further, but not much.
Not much,
and he had a lot more. So to me, they're very similar if we're going to compare statistics and careers.
I think outside of, Megatron, I think Rivers had a lot more to work with on his offense consistently. Yeah. So
yeah.
That's professionally, but what about personally? Poor Matthew's not smashing as much as Phillip Rivers.
Listen, Kelly watches the show. I'm not getting into this. I'm not having
Kelly.
this.
Love you, Kelly.
And how many kids do they have? They have what, 4?
Yeah, they got a bunch. They got a goon squad themselves.
Yeah, they got a squad. So
Not Phillip Rivers though.
Not Phillip Rivers though. Nobody should be Phillip Rivers. Like, this is not the 1600s.
We need more Stafford babies though. Stafford's just great creations in this world.
Yeah, no, I mean, and like you said, if you can afford them, you know, and take care of them, put out those little babies, man.
Yeah.
I'm broke, so I don't have kids.
By the way, can I get a raise, guys? It's been really tough on me.
No, because all you're going to do is spend it on a damn kid. We got to keep you broke so you quit having kids.
And online gambling. Don't tell
That's
my
okay,
wife.
though. You can do that part. We're cool with that.
Oh, man. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back in 30 seconds, and we'll get this thing back on the rails. Sorry. Talking about having 10 kids.
Our comment is just all about pulling out. Like,
I love this. Rivers always pulls out when he's done. Oh, I gotta do this. This is my fun part right here. Gotta do this.
hit them buttons.
Yeah, we got music in the background now, man. I missed this. Little bit of music right now. I like it. Sounds better. And thank you guys for tuning in to the morning Woodward Show. My name is Stick. We got Corey. We got Joey. We got Art over there. And, of course, my man Fish, who's going to come through at 5:50 with his Fish Facts. We got Rob Parker coming up at 9:15. And it's Wednesday, so you know what that means, Joey?
Yeah, puppies!
Puppies! The Detroit Dog Rescue is going to be here at about 9:45, so we can get some dogs adopted out to some beautiful families today. One of the interesting things I like to always consider is how much franchises are worth. And the numbers have come out from this past year, what each NBA franchise is worth. And I kind of want you guys to guess at the top 10, and we'll go through this. And if you're in the chat right now, throw up some names for the top 10, and we'll read them back on the air. Yeah, what team do you think, we'll do top 10 right now. Pistons, I'll tell you where they are after we do top 10, obviously.
Oh, we're not on the top 10?
They could be. I'll tell you. No, I already screwed that up. Yeah, they're not in the top 10.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Pistons are not in the top 10. But let's do this. Who do you think is in the top 10? Corey, what is your first guess?
First guess, like the number one team?
Just any team that you believe would be in the top 10.
Knicks.
The Knicks?
That was my second. I'm going to go with Lakers as number one.
The Knicks are number one.
Nice move.
The Lakers are number 3.
Yep.
Who do you think is number 2?
Golden State.
Ooh.
I was shocked when I saw this too.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Bulls.
I mean, it's smart to pick large market teams.
Yeah.
Like that is smart.
I mean, yeah,
Chicago's the number 3 market in the country. But no, Golden State Warriors number 2, which is crazy.
Corey got the whole list. Who's number 3, Corey?
I already told you, the Lakers.
Oh yeah, Lakers. Who's number 4? I love how Corey was thinking.
I want to say the Clippers.
No. They are not. Number 4 would be the Brooklyn Nets.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're still in New York. Can't forget that. Even though it's a borough, it's still New York. Number 5, the Boston Celtics.
I can see that.
And I guess I should tell you how much they're worth too.
Yeah, what's number 1?
The New York Knicks are worth $5.42 billion with a B dollars. 5.42, and the Knicks suck. Could you imagine if the Knicks were actually good, how much that franchise would be worth?
Man.
About a hot 10 bill.
Easy $10 billion if that team was good.
Think about when the Bulls were like peak with Jordan and whatnot, how much like they were worth.
Yeah, that was in like the early 90s, so like
right.
I mean, we're talking
relatively though.
Oh, right now, if you like had to add it right now, they'd probably be like about
10.
at least, about 10.
They'd be in the 10 range.
I feel like Bulls swag like just sells so hot, especially when Jordan was a part of the organization.
Yeah. Golden State Warriors, $5.21 billion. They're at number 2. Number 3, Los Angeles Lakers, $5.14 billion. The Brooklyn Nets, $3.4 billion. So there's quite a drop off from 3 to 4. Boston Celtics coming in at number 5, $3.18 billion. Then your Chicago Bulls at number 6, $3.14. Then the Houston Rockets.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yao Ming put him on the map, baby.
Yao Ming,
That's real, though.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Them
definitely
overseas
real.
sales?
Those jersey
Yeah.
sales in China?
Yeah.
My God. So they're $2.77 billion. And here comes the Clippers at number 8 with $2.63, which is interesting because you know how much they sold for a couple years ago, right?
It was like one of like
It was a flat 2.
Yeah.
So they've increased in value $0.63 billion.
And when you say 0.63 of any number, it's like, oh, well, that's tiny. But we talking billion, that's 600 million.
yeah, that's an extra $600 million the dude just put in his back
Yeah,
pocket.
shout out to Clippers owner Steve Ballmer, product of Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah.
Graduated from Detroit Country Day and went on to Harvard and Stanford.
It's them Country Day prospects right there.
Country Day. I mean, you got to have that money to send your kid to Country Day.
For sure.
Like, that's Country Day money right there. Those kids are not poor.
How much you think, like, for example, the Lakers? You talked, I think you said like 5.1 is their billion. When you add a LeBron to that organization, how much does that increase your value for the organization, would you guys guess?
Tenfold. I mean, the Lakers, let's see, the Lakers before LeBron got there, they were probably sitting at 3.
I think LeBron honestly takes the Lakers up only so much because the Lakers and the Knicks, they have their TV network.
Yeah.
So I think they're already making their money twice over on those TV deals. I think LeBron, with the Lakers being such a storied franchise, he takes them up just a smidget. Now, if we're talking to like Cleveland or Miami,
for sure,
he raises them exponentially. But the Lakers are like a storied franchise. He just brings them up just a.
And they always got something too, you know. Like rest in peace to Kobe. Like they always got someone, and Shaq, and just the organization has always had a name that can carry them on the top.
Yeah.
Listen, when you got that brand already attached to you, you're making money. That's why, like, there's only 32 positions. There's only 32 teams. If you get a chance to own any professional team anywhere, you take that opportunity. That's why the Fords will never give up the Lions. Why would they? They just print money with it. And
literally.
I would never give up that team, ever.
NFL franchises are rarely sold. They're passed down.
Right.
And do you blame them? I wish I had that last name.
And the only reason the Clippers got sold is because Sterling was an idiot, and they forced him to sell. Like the league forced him to sell, which was the nice thing that they could have done for him. They could have snatched his team from him.
That whole situation was so crazy. Not just because we got recorded, but he doubled down on it hard.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, what an idiot, but the new owner's doing well. Number 9, Dallas Mavericks, Mark Cuban. $2.58 billion, and then coming in at number 10, the Toronto Raptors with $2.55 billion.
We got a big story. Speaking of Dallas and Mark Cuban, we got a big story that we're going to be talking about in a little bit with Delonte West.
Yeah,
this story is unbelievable and just shows what a good guy Mark Cuban is.
So let's take the guesses. What do you think the Pistons are valued at right now?
I already know this one just off of this random research.
Oh, you do?
So,
Really?
yeah.
Good for you, Corey.
Good for you. I'm going to say like 2? 2.4.
2.476. Well, now you're putting us in the top 10, Joey.
Oh, was that? Wait, what was the value?
Toronto's 2.5.
Oh, 2.5
and that's
at
number
Toronto.
10. Yep.
Oh, dang. So I'm going to say 1.6.
1.6? We're at 1.45. 1.45, which is not bad. I mean, for the Pistons, for the franchise, they don't have their own arena anymore. They're sharing that. You know, that's all a part of the valuation.
Yeah.
So once they got rid of that, they lost a little bit. They haven't had winning.
A lot of it probably for that.
Yeah, they haven't had a really good winning team in, a decade or so? So the fact that they're sitting there, I think is pretty good.
So does LCA go under the Red Wings?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
under
an
the
Illich
Red
holding.
Wings. Yeah. So dang, that's a big difference right there in itself.
It is, yeah, and that was one of the negotiations with the Pistons and the Palace when Tom Gores was buying the team. He didn't get the Palace along with it because the Palace Sports and Entertainment was still going to do concerts and stuff out there. So he didn't have that. He didn't buy that as part of the package.
And I love having both of the teams at LCA. But from the business standpoint, you're buying a team at $1.45 billion.
Right.
Like, why don't you just throw in a little bit more money do your own stadium, because like that value in itself I feel like is awesome. But I also do love what LCA brings to the city.
Yeah, no, I love it. I just wish they do a little bit better job at making it feel like the Pistons' home too.
And even Andre Drummond, when he was a part of the team, he says, I feel like I'm playing at the Red Wing Stadium.
Yep.
That's why I don't like LCA for the Pistons.
Yeah.
Love it for the Red Wings. I think we talked about this before. It is a hockey arena, and the Pistons are just, visitors right now. But I don't know what Gordon's going to do, but I hope if he does intend on keeping the team down the line, that he'd invest in some type of arena around the area. I mean, he's already made his money more than 4 times over, because he bought the team for $325 million.
Yeah.
And now they're worth $1.5 billion.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And $325 million doesn't seem like a ton of money for a professional sports franchise. And this was what, 2008 when he bought the team, something like that?
I want to say it's around 2010, 11.
Okay.
Around that time.
Yeah, but that's not that
Yeah,
long
not
ago.
that long ago.
Not that long ago to turn it into over $1 billion.
I still think what was the craziest thing of all this, I wonder what would have happened if the Davidson family, Karen Davidson, if she didn't fudge the numbers in the prospectus. I get that number, that word mixed up so time. If she didn't fudge her numbers in the report when giving it over to the
That's me when I'm texting and I can't spell something. It's like
every time.
Spell check wrong. Spell check. Okay, I'm just gonna go with the simplest word I know. Thank you.
If she didn't fudge those numbers with the Illiches, they would have owned the Red Wings, the Pistons, and the Tigers. That would have been interesting.
That would have been crazy. I don't know if I would have liked that.
Yeah.
No.
It would have been interesting. It would have been interesting, though.
I like it spread out amongst everybody. And, even though the Illiches own the Tigers and the Red Wings, it's tough to run multiple things like that and be really good at both things.
Yeah.
But I feel like they do a good job at it. They've been doing it so much. They got the experience. They know how to handle it. But, I mean, it's just crazy when you think that they got 2 of the 4 teams in Detroit.
Yeah. No, the Illiches, they've built up that entire area. Yeah, I mean, I know there's some complaints about how they've, muscled some people out or starved some areas so they couldn't grow, and then bought all the property real cheap. But, I mean, business is business, baby.
Especially when you look at them investing in the city when nobody else really was.
Right.
That's what it all comes down to, because, you can look back now and say, oh, well, you did this and this just to get a better price, but I don't see you going there trying to revive the city.
Yeah, and honestly, where would it be without them? That's
exactly
the question, because, and then obviously Dan Gilbert came along and started putting in his money, and when you got 2 billionaires like that doing their thing in the city, we saw some progress in the main corridor, and hopefully it expands out as it goes.
I want Danny G to get a team over here in Detroit.
I really honestly think he wants the Pistons. If he could, I think if he could flip the Cavaliers for the Pistons, he'd do it.
I wonder if that's possible, like trade organizations, trade owners.
I mean, I'm sure you could, especially someone like Dan Gilbert.
Right.
Like, you see him, you think Detroit, and then you just happen to hear, oh, well, yeah, he also got the Cleveland Cavaliers. And it doesn't make sense. I know that, I mean, he's had it for a little while now, but it would be so cool for the Detroit guy to be a part of a Detroit organization.
Well, the reason that happens is what we were talking about earlier, because there's only 32 of these. When one becomes available, you snatch it. It doesn't matter where it is. If it's Cleveland, all right, I'll buy the Cleveland franchise. I'm like, But he really wanted Detroit, but it wasn't for sale at that time.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting to watch those 2 billionaires get some trade over the Pistons and the Cavaliers.
I'd love it.
As long as Andre Drummond doesn't come back, I'm good.
Hey, he's balling out, though.
He is.
He's balling out right now.
For a bad team, so it really doesn't matter. So, I just kind of wanted to go over where the Pistons were in franchise rank like that. I always think it's cool to look at those types of lists to understand how much money is at stake with these big franchises and just why they do the things that they do.
I will say this, as I kind of looked around and researched some of this stuff, one of the things that shocked me, and I would say their only thing they have going for them is that they're in California. It shocked me that the Kings were worth more than the Pistons.
Yeah, California. That's all it
just had to be it, because it can't be worth to the NBA.
Because you got to realize, look at the population in LA. Look at the population we have. So no matter what, numbers are against you.
Yeah.
The merch sales, just everything with the organization is going to be higher in a city like that.
Right. Yeah, you just need 2 billionaires going at it to build up your city, and there you go. It'll help raise everybody's franchises.
That's all you need, just.
And that's kind of what happened in Grand Rapids, too, on a smaller scale. You know, they got the DeVosses out there, and they got the Meyer family just building up that whole organization, or that whole city. And, they've created like a fun little artsy community in Grand Rapids because these billionaires care about art, and that's what they want to do. And so they're just making this city whatever they want to make it.
And Steve Jabara, too, with the Grand Rapids Drive.
Yeah, that's right. Can't forget about Jabara.
Keeps the city going.
Another great story that I think we have to touch on. Actually, Joey, let's hit your news, and then let's talk about Delonte West, all right?
Let's do that. Let's cover all of our Woodward sports update. You ready?
Ready.
So the big news, obviously, Brad Holmes, officially the new GM of the Detroit Lions, and yesterday was introduced to the city, and that was really exciting because we're just excited to have the new GM in place now. Later on today, they're expecting, is it true, Corey, that we're expecting Dan Campbell to be announced?
That's what the reports were. Again, even yesterday, they didn't confirm anything during the press conference, but reports are that Dan Campbell is supposed to be announced sometime today as the Lions' new head coach. He wanted to go through his exit interviews with the New Orleans Saints, which is, admirable, and hopefully we get some clarity on that. I'll say this, because we haven't heard anything else, it would be shocking if they went in some kind of late hour direction switch.
Right.
So,
are you talking with Dan Campbell?
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen what happened with Aaron Glenn.
Yup.
Wow, that's a bold prediction, Corey. You think they're just going to pull a hard left?
I'm just saying, I don't know, because we don't know.
Especially Ian Rappaport, when he comes out and says Aaron Glenn will be the new defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions.
You can bank on that.
Especially him. And then all of a sudden, you hear late night yesterday that, wait, hold up, he's interviewing 2 more teams.
Yeah, because we're not talking about some guy just from some random news source. We're talking about from the NFL Network.
Right.
So
the source. So yeah, that's the football news we got. And then Patrick Mahomes is eligible to practice starting today. So you guys think we're going to see him this week, I'm sure?
Of course. I mean, we just went through how much money NBA franchises are worth. Patrick Mahomes just signed a $500 million contract.
They ain't letting him sit on the bench.
Homeboy's going to play.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he wants to play if he can get out there. So I mean,
of course,
yeah,
of course.
He's a competitor. So
yeah.
Sad news for all of our Michigan fans who are banking on Chad Henne hitting the field. But in other news for Michigan fans, they did get a win by 24 points over Maryland yesterday. So good job to the number 7 team in the country, Michigan basketball. And the Wings ended up winning it, a close one. Now 2-2 on the season. Tyler Bertuzzi hitting that overtime goal within the first 13 seconds of overtime.
That's how I like
amazing.
my overtimes.
Right.
That's how I like them. I don't want to watch triple overtime. I don't want to do that. Like, get in there, give me a great shot, end the game, and let's roll.
But it is exciting though, because it just bam, you're waiting for that first goal. Right when you see it, you know the game's over.
Right.
So that was exciting. And then today, the Pistons going to be taking on the Atlanta Hawks at 7:30.
Yeah, got to watch out for Trae Young, but that's a winnable ball game, man. That is a winnable ball game.
3-10 team taking on the 6-7 Hawks.
Yeah,
we got a chance.
Winnable. Beef Stew going to have a big game.
Yep.
Beef Stew, Isaiah Stewart. That's my homeboy. So let's talk about Delonte West, since we're kind of talking about basketball. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Delonte West story, he was a former Cavalier. He played on the LeBron James teams back in the day, and the jokes that he smashed LeBron's mom, and like that's been the joke around the NBA, and just pretty much every talking point forever is the NBA stopped selling number 23 West jerseys because of that, because so many people were buying them and just giving LeBron shit for it, but. Besides that, Delonte West turned kind of into a tragic story. Was it September of last year?
Yeah.
It went viral. Somebody took a picture of him begging for money. And here you can see him holding up a sign. He was homeless. He'd lost everything. And he just, obviously when you're that successful and you're in the NBA and you have that big a fall from grace, it's kind of a tragic story, right? Like,
you go from literally being on top of the world throughout his NBA career to then all of a sudden being in a situation like that. And you do hear this more often than not, which is sad with professional athletes, because a lot of them come from nothing.
Right.
They make all this money, don't know what to do with it, overspend, and then they're put into a situation like that. And a lot of that is due to the guidance and the leadership that they've had throughout their career, because, you know, they're used to always being out and about partying and blowing their money.
Right.
They don't expect this day to come.
They never expect it to stop, and that's the thing. Like, you know, these guys have such a short window. Yes, they make a lot of money, but that's really the only money these guys are really going to make their whole lives, because outside of basketball, a lot of them don't have other skills. Many of them do, so I'm not trying to paint all basketball players with a brush like that. But unfortunately for Delonte West, he fell on really hard times, and the internet just started clowning the dude. Like, just making fun of him. Just, you know, it was all over World Star. Like, people were just making fun of him in this condition.
And that really was my initial reaction at first. Because I start seeing all this going around the news, and it's like, dude, how dumb could you be? You made all that money in your NBA career, but put yourself in that situation. You go to the casino, you win $100. What are you going to do with the $100? Put it all back in, spend it, boom. You leave with nothing, if not negative. So it's the same thing, just at a little bit of a larger scale of money that they made in their career.
Yeah, so, like I said, the whole world was making fun of this guy. But one guy, one man, the hero of humankind, came out of nowhere and picked up Delonte West where he was begging and helped him out, got him back on his feet, and that man is Mark Cuban, which I have nothing but respect for Mark Cuban, because while the whole world was trashing this poor guy, Mark Cuban stepped up to the plate as a good human being and as a successful human being, and he helped him get back on track.
And I think it should be noted, too, because I'm not going to sit up here and say I'm a fan of Delonte West, but I've been following his story from his initial drama when he first got out the NBA. He was working as a furniture salesman, and to where he is right now. And there were reports of a lot of players, former players and teammates that tried to reach out and help him out, but he wasn't in the space to receive the help. So I'm glad that when Mark was able to reach out to him after seeing the footage, that Delonte finally was in the space to be able to receive the help and the care that was given out to him. And shout out to Mark Cuban, because this is not the first time I've ever heard of Cuban doing something great for players. Like, I believe Kevin Garnett said on one of the All the Smoke podcasts that Mark Cuban is the one who started rearranging guys' locker rooms. He's the one who started feeding the opposing teams and their entire staffs before games and whatnot. So he shows some character.
No, Mark Cuban, I mean, that's the one thing he does have, is character, and you know he loves his team.
Yeah.
And you can tell that he loves his players. And I just love that, like I said, while everybody else was making fun of the guy, he lent a helping hand. But to your point, anybody in that situation, if they don't want the help, it doesn't matter who's reaching out to them. Like, they need to want to take that step.
And that's the hardest thing in the world.
Of course.
When you're on top of the world, you're never going to think that you're going to be the person that wants to accept help. And even if it does come to the day, they're still probably not going to want to accept that help, which sounds like this was the case.
But there's been somewhat of a happy ending to this story, which is really cool, and everything's kind of come full circle. Joey, do you want to tell what's going on with Delonte West today?
Yeah, so he is employed. And the beauty to this story is he's employed at the rehab center where he was receiving help from.
Yes.
So he went through all of this and now wants to give help to others that were in that same situation. And that's just the beautiful, beautiful end of this story.
It's amazing, really. Like, it's almost like one of those Disney stories.
It is.
Where, everything comes back full circle. And for him to get back on his feet, helping people when he needed somebody to help him, you just love that stuff, man.
And I believe while he's out there helping people at the center that he's at, they're going to be able to take his story to heart more, because they're seeing, like, he was on top, then he got down to the lowest of lows. Now he's reaching back up to the top. And, even though I'm pretty sure basketball is the furthest thing from his mind right now, I'm not advocating like, I hope to see him back on the NBA court or anything like that. Yeah. But I'm going to say this. I think he needs some type of, happy ending to it. So when everything starts getting back normal, Ice Cube has the big three. And a lot of former basketball players have been going to that. And, I think that would just be a nice ending for him to just maybe play a season or two in Big Three and, end it like that.
Yeah, we just thought this was a nice story that we wanted to bring up. It popped up yesterday that he was working at the rehab facility where he got his help after being helped and, literally after being clowned by the entire world. Like, that has to hurt no matter where you are in your life. That has to hurt.
I can't believe I forgot this. I didn't meet him, but I actually have a personal Mark Cuban story.
Okay.
So, when the whole COVID situation was going down, Mark Cuban gave over $100,000 to the National Association of Black Journalists. In the name of some former writers. I believe they covered the Mavericks, and I got a $2,000 check from Mark Cuban. So
Come on, you got a check that got cut from Mark Cuban.
$2,000 check. He gave over 100 some odd grand to the NABJ. I had to fill out an application, and next thing I know, about 2 months later, I have a $2,000 check.
Dang, what'd you do with your $2,000?
I invested into my business and paid a couple bills.
And bada boom, bada bing, here you are.
Yeah.
No, that's a great story.
Baby. That's amazing.
Yeah. How'd you find out about that?
It was just, well, I'm a part of the National Association of Black Journalists anyway, so
Me too.
So the news came out, and they started sending the link out to members to, hey, go ahead and apply for this, and I applied.
Wow, that's awesome, man. That's great, and that's just some of the stuff that Mark Cuban does that we never heard about this. It's not like it was publicized. It's not like it was a big news story, but obviously it's had an impact on your life.
Yeah, so I'm a fan.
And that's the beauty, it just shows that it's never too late to get a start on your career, no matter what you're trying to do. And even if you're thinking about hitting the HVAC school that works,
hey,
you gotta check out northwesterntech.edu, because right now is a time where everybody just uncertain on what they want to do in their career. They've been doing something for so long that they're like, you know what, I want to switch it up. So it's a 10.5-month hands-on HVAC program. Check them out, northwesterntech.edu.
Yeah, it's a great program too.
Heck yeah.
My buddy Jonah, that's where Jonah went.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and he's got a great job, man.
Heck yeah, he is. He's happy.
Works on robots and is happy as hell. Has a great life. So yeah, that's great advice to get into any trade school. We got Rob Parker coming up in about 5-10 minutes. He's gonna hop on the line. And before we get to Rob Parker, can we talk about this is Donald Trump's last day in office.
Yep.
We're not going to go political on this, but there's a couple things that we had to mention, like who he's pardoned in the past 24 hours.
I heard there's been a lot.
One of them, Wheezy F, baby. Lil Wayne got pardoned on his gun charges. So Lil Wayne, free man. I mean, people were making fun of Lil Wayne for going to the White House, getting pictures with Trump, but obviously he knew what he was doing.
Smart man. Smart man.
You got to use this. And then, come to find out this morning, Kwame.
And it just really got released by Detroit Mayor Mike Dugan. Donald Trump has commuted the prison sentence of former Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick. It's official now.
So he's out.
He's coming out.
Free man.
Is he coming back to Detroit? That's the question.
If I were him, no.
Really? He's still got a lot of love in the city,
He really does have a lot of love.
He does have a lot of love, and I don't know. I think I would just leave, get a new start. I mean, you already, as much love as he has here, he has equal amount of hate still.
Imagine just walking and seeing Kwame.
Right.
Like pull up to the 7-Eleven in Detroit or something.
Have you ever been next to him?
He's a big dude.
That's a big guy.
Yeah, I've heard
he came to actually. My uncle was friends with him, and he came to my open house for my high school graduation. So
yeah,
that's a big guy.
That's dope.
I had like a 1 degree of separation from Kwame when I was living down at the Jeffersonian. The people that lived right next to me were hoity-toity in Detroit, and they used to go to the Mnuchin mansion and party, and they were actually at the mansion where the Tamira Rice and all that stuff went down.
Yeah.
They were at that party.
Ooh.
And they were telling me about it before it ever hit the news.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then it hit the news. I was like, Carol?
Is that what I was just heard about?
Carol, is that the party you were talking about? Like, that's the one where Kwame went nuts? Like, holy shit.
It's like Twitter before Twitter.
Yeah, no, it was. Carol was like, they called themselves my godparents because I don't have godparents, and she was like, hi, baby. And I was always her baby. And she would party so hard next door in the apartment. And you would always just hear, hey now. Hey now! And that's what they called her. That was her nickname, Hey Now. So she would just scream it all night long. I loved Carol so much. Carol and Jean, such a great couple. I love those two. But yeah, the Kwame story is absolutely crazy. So yeah, he's done. He's out.
He's gonna be a free man.
Kwame's gonna be rolling down Jefferson, man.
Oh man,
He's got to stay in Detroit. He's not leaving Detroit.
Does he? I don't know if he has to. I mean, who knows? Wherever his son, I'll say this: wherever his sons are at, that's where he's going to be.
Right,
and he should be with the family.
Wherever that's where I think he's going to be, wherever they're at.
And then one more person that Art brought up got pardoned yesterday. Another rapper. Who else got pardoned? Art?
Not only Lil Wayne, but Kodak Black too.
Kodak Black.
Kodak Black.
I don't know where Donald Trump found out about any of these people. I'm just imagining Donald Trump's playlist.
Like
Kodak Wayne,
Black.
Kodak Black. Yeah, let's get these guys out.
The free, the hashtag free Kodak Black like tweets, they finally worked and got him free.
Oh yeah, Twitter.
The power of the internet.
Power of the Twitter. So yeah, that just wanted to touch on those fun stories this morning. I think that's such a random hodgepodge of people to get pardoned, but they all affect Detroit, and it's the last day of the presidency.
You know who didn't get pardoned was Joe Exotic. And he was really fighting for it in the sense that they had a stretch F-350 limo waiting to go grab him, and they ended up turning the keys off and going back inside because Trump decided not to pardon him.
Man, what a tough decision. That's an American icon. To keep him in jail is a travesty for all of us. But that's just, Joe Exotic, man. It's just crazy. So Rob Parker is joining us right now live. Corey, you're going to get your headphones on right now. You're going to talk to Rob. Rob, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me? Yes, sir. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning to you, sir. Corey, I'll let you kick this off since... And give him a nice introduction. You're wearing his hoodie this morning.
Oh, yeah, I'm wearing the, No Way, No How. Rob Parker, I mean, hey, what can I say? I was 18 years old, fresh out of high school, running to the guy a couple of times outside of the barbershop on Sporty Cuts on 7 Mile. Expressed my interest in sports journalism. He gave me his book, gave me his number. Next thing I know, a couple of days later, I'm on Parker and the Man and listening in on the show, and next thing I know, I'm an intern on Sports Rap TV and one of the great Detroit sports writers, icons, and not just be in Detroit and beyond. So not enough I can say. I could go all day about Rob.
That's why I wanted you to do the intro, man. Good for sure. Rob, thanks for joining us this morning. Do you have anything kind to say about Corey?
Oh, yeah. I'm very, very proud of where Corey has gone and all the hard work he's put in. And, the idea of, when someone wants help and reaches out or whatever, if I can help them, that's just part of who I am. So I'm very, very proud of Corey and where he is. And congrats to you guys on your venture and what you guys are doing back in Detroit.
Thank you very much. And I mean, obviously, there's a ton of stuff going on in Detroit sports right now. I'm sure you keep up with it. Is there anything that's standing out to you at the moment of something that we should be looking out for or something that you're excited to see?
Well, mostly everything's bad there. My God, like the teams are pretty bad. So Detroit had a very nice run when I was still back there. Before I left 5 years ago, and the Red Wings were always good, no more. The Pistons during that era of going to work basketball was amazing. That's no more. The Lions are the Lions, so they never have one playoff win since 1957. So there's a lot of things that are not happening in Detroit. So I think you have to look at it as a rebuild and hope to see which team can put it together back first and win a championship. If I had to bet on which team would win a championship first, I might say the Detroit Tigers. I just don't see like the Pistons.
Ooh, okay.
I would go for the Tigers.
Yeah, we did a Twitter poll on that, and most of the fans here believe in the Red Wings more, and we think that's because of Steve Yzerman.
Yeah, and what he did down in Tampa Bay obviously did a great job in with that organization. So I can understand why. And plus, they are the team that has won, more championships and more recently, so that makes sense. But I don't know. I just think the Tigers, it's been a long time since 1984, and we've seen other teams have opportunities. I know it's going to take a little bit of time, but I don't think it's out of reach.
Hey, I do want to ask you real quick. What do you think about what Troy Weaver is doing with the Pistons? Real quick.
I don't know. I mean, I don't see them competing. I know he's made a lot of changes or whatnot. I think some of the players that they got, day late, dollar short, getting players who were great at one point. So I don't see them in the mix. And they probably need to find some sort of star, get like a star in the draft that's really going to turn the franchise around. It's hard to imagine that where the Pistons are now compared to where they were not that long ago.
Now, here's the real thing we want to talk about is that Tom Brady.
I was going to wait to pop it on him, but go ahead.
I thought he had a typo on this article, right? I've never seen "loat" in my life with Tom Brady. I've always heard the word GOAT. We've all only heard the word GOAT. So, Corey, go ahead, explain this article.
I mean, he said that Tom Brady, who I consider the greatest of all time, is the luckiest of all time, and that Brady has benefited from so much fortune of other teams' misfortunes, most recently the misfortune of Drew Brees and his terrible play in the NFC divisional round. So why is Tom Brady you come up with so many different names from why now the LOAT?
Tom Brady is the LOAT, and I call him the luckiest of all time because when you really look at his career, dating back to almost 19 years ago yesterday with the tuck rule where Tom Brady coughed up the football with a minute and a half to go and the referees gave him back the football. That might have changed his entire career if the Raiders, who recovered the ball, kept the ball, and that was the year that Brady and them went to the first Super Bowl and won. So that would have changed a lot of things. So when you look back to his career, in that playoff run back then, 19 years ago, how many touchdowns did Tom Brady throw in the postseason? Super Bowl and postseason. Anybody know?
In that playoff run?
Yep. The first year that the Patriots...
I don't offhand, no.
Okay, he threw one touchdown in the entire postseason. Okay, so there's the tuck rule. When they beat the Carolina Panthers, their kicker kicked the ball out of bounds with the score tied late in the game. He moved the ball up some yards. They kicked the game-winning field goal. Then we could go to, there's just so many games and so many situations where Tom Brady has been the beneficiary of it. It doesn't mean that he's not a great player or he doesn't capitalize on those moments. We saw in Seattle, they had the best running back in the league with beast mode at the 1.5 yard line and 2 downs to try to get in the end zone. And they throw it in, Russell Wilson throws the ball into a crowded end zone. And of course it was an interception and Seattle lost that game. Atlanta was up 28-3. They were at the 22 yard line with a chance to kick a field goal to go up by 11. Instead of running the ball forward 3 downs and kicking a field goal, which would have put the game out of reach, they go to pass the ball. There's a sack. There's a holding call. There are all kinds of other things that go on, which change the course of the game. And, of course, they get out of field goal range. Tom Brady ties the game, and then the Patriots win it in overtime. And now this year, it's the same thing. Look at his path to the NFC Championship game. He plays a Washington team that was under 500, right? A quarterback who's making his second start in the history of in the NFL, his first in the playoffs, who nobody even knew his name, right? That Heineke. So he gets game 1, and then Drew Brees, who's a Hall of Fame quarterback, throws 3 picks and sets up a short field. Tom Brady didn't win that game. You guys can go ahead with that false narrative. Tom Brady had less than 200 yards. When they had to drive on their own, Tom Brady couldn't even move. They couldn't move the ball. What did they do? They got 3 turnovers. 4 turnovers.
He had 199 yards.
Oh, yeah, that's a big day.
And a touchdown, and he ran one in.
Rob Parker, from what I'm hearing and reading throughout this article, sounds like you got a lot of excuses. Because listen, you are one of the, and you will always be one of the greatest, especially in Detroit sports, and I respect you so much. So let me preface it with that. But when you talk about Tom Brady, and in my eyes, the greatest of all time, but you look at what he does. He even could bring the Buccaneers to where they are. Their first playoff win since 2002, since winning the Super Bowl. You can't argue that this guy is not the greatest of all time. And I know you just brought up a lot of facts, things that I didn't even realize. That is a lot of luck. But you in your article start talking about how Tom Brady should have thrown 3 interceptions. What did he throw against the Saints? 0. So you can't say that.
But I'm just saying, a lot of things have gone his way. And here's the other part, that he's not the GOAT. His team was busted for cheating in Spygate. Tom Brady was suspended for Deflategate, where he basically derailed the investigation into what had happened with Tom Brady. And don't tell me he had 100 text messages with a ball boy and he doesn't know the ball boy and had no contact.
Hey, I don't know her when I'm texting either, man.
Well, he was doing a lot of drunk texting, apparently. but my point is, Tom Brady's not the greatest. Joe Montana's the greatest. He was 4-0 in Super Bowls. He never lost. He had 11 touchdowns, no picks. He won 3 MVPs. He won 2 with Jerry Rice. He won 2 without Jerry Rice. And he was never accused. There was never any cheating involved when it came to his career and what went down. To me, that's the GOAT. I look at Michael Jordan and I look at Joe Montana. Tom Brady's had a great career. He's not the greatest. The first 3 Super Bowls were about Adam Vinatieri and the Patriots defense. And the last 3 Super Bowls have been mostly on luck. And one last thing, the last Super Bowl he won against the Rams, Tom Brady had no touchdowns, 1 pick, 1 fumble, and a 13-3 win. And yet, right against the Rams, who had a high-powered offense, all the talk is about Tom Brady won the Super Bowl, when in reality, it was their defense. And that's my point. It wasn't about Tom Brady.
I hope the Lions can get 1/10 of that Tom Brady luck at some point in my life. Like, I'll take that luck all day.
I hear you. It ain't about all luck. I mean, they need to do the right thing in the front office. The Lions to have 1 playoff win since 1957 is an indictment of ownership and an indictment of the people that they've hired. They've made a lot of mistakes in hiring people, and that's why the Lions are where they are. We used to laugh at the Saints, laugh at the Bucks, laugh at teams like that, the Cardinals, because all those teams were in the same category with the Lions. They had not won a Super Bowl or been to a Super Bowl, and guess what? The Bucks won a Super Bowl. The Cardinals went to a Super Bowl, and if it wasn't for a last-minute touchdown, had a chance to win one. And what was the other team? Tampa. So they've all gone on to win, everybody except the Lions.
What do you think about the Lions hire of Brad Holmes as the GM and their potential rumored hire of Dan Campbell as the new coach?
I mean, Holmes has worked his way up. He was a part of the Rams organization. You know, it's a crapshoot. Nobody really knows. It's not as if he has a track record as a GM, but everybody gets an opportunity. The one thing the Lions have done is they've given a lot of people their first crack at being, the boss or being a head coach for the first time. We saw it with Morningwig and Marinelli, who was never a head coach even in high school or college, get the first head coaching job was in the NFL. So I think these guys, I have to wait and see. There's just no track record for me to say whether they're going to succeed or fail. But so that's what the Lions have done. Sure, it would have been great for them to go out and get somebody who's battle-tested or who has a proven winner. They did do that with Steve Mariucci, who was the coach, and it just didn't work out because Matt Millen, who had never been a GM, was terrible. Probably the worst general manager in the history of sports.
Can't argue that.
Question about Calvin Johnson. We were touching on it earlier today. What do you think the Lions should do with that whole situation about him wanting a little bit of money back and them not budging, and now him potentially going in the Hall of Fame, not wearing the Lions Honolulu blue with pride?
First of all, I'm not giving anybody any money who quit on the team. I mean, I just don't. The whole idea of it is nonsense. If you didn't want to play, you know what happens? You don't get paid. I don't. He should just move on from that. I don't think the Lions. It's like holding the team hostage. Give me my money, even though I walk down on you. And the same thing with the Hall of Fame. I get the numbers. Can you please tell me the playoff games that the Lions won when Calvin Johnson was there? Some numbers can be. I'm just being honest. Like I even, the Stat Patford numbers. Some of those numbers just are bogus. They came after the game were decided, when defenses backed off. He's a great player, but I just don't. I don't see that as a Hall of Fame player, and I don't see why the Lions should have to give a guy money who quit.
So you don't see him Hall of Fame at all, not just first ballot, just not in the Hall of Fame.
I'm a baseball Hall of Fame voter, and to me, there should be no question about it. When you got to debate whether somebody belongs, and you have to look at, try to figure out a way to get somebody in. And I'm not blaming that all of the losses were on him, but it's just hard. I don't see, he doesn't jump out to me as, oh yeah, he has to be in the Hall of Fame. Did he put up some gaudy numbers? Sure he did, but I don't know about the impact.
I mean, he brings up the biggest point, though. The playoff wins. What did he really? I mean, yes, obviously the impact he did, and I do think he should be Hall of Fame status, but because the impact he's had in Detroit. But really, the playoff wins, and look who he's going against.
Yeah, you can't ignore can't ignore the results. I mean, he put up great numbers throughout the season and broke records, but it didn't translate to winning football.
Yeah, but sometimes you just got to go with the eye test. And when you see a guy dominate an entire league for that long and for that amount of time, and you can just see he's heads and tails better than everybody else that's in the league. To me, that's just like, it's just blatant. Like, that guy's a Hall of Famer because nobody else can do what he's done.
Yeah, so I really want to, kind of pivot real quick. What do you any predictions for the NFC and AFC championships this weekend?
I'm gonna go with the Packers in the NFC. I just think that the Bucs secondary is not that great, and I think Aaron Rodgers had an unbelievable season. What he did against the number one ranked Rams defense was impressive. I mean, they have a three-headed monster at running back, and Rodgers has just 50 touchdowns and 5 interceptions is insane, and he's played great. And I think the Bucs obviously needed 4 turnovers to help them win that game. I don't expect Aaron Rodgers. And then I'm going to go with the upset. I'm going to go with the Bills. I think. Ooh. I don't know. There's something about Kansas City that just doesn't feel as good or dominant as they have been, and then we just don't know about the health of Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to go with the Bills in a big upset.
Wow, yeah, that would be a massive upset, too, especially if Mahomes plays. If Mahomes doesn't play, then it's like, all right, I can understand that they won this game, even though Michigan's own Chad Henne could lead them to victory. We're on the Chad Henne bandwagon here, if you couldn't tell.
Listen, Rob, I know you don't classify Tom Brady as the GOAT, but where do you classify Chad Henne on the list?
He's the fofo. No, I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Oh, man. Well, Rob, we also got to get your opinion on this. It's not really sports related, but it just happened this morning, and I know that when you were in Detroit, you were involved in not just sports, but more of the culture of the city and everything that happens inside the city limits. What do you think of Kwame getting his pardon from Trump?
Yeah, very interesting. I mean, I don't know the connection. It surprised me a bit. I mean, obviously earlier last year, we heard that he was going to be released. You remember that? That was floated out there, so it wound up coming. And good. I mean, if Kwame can get out and turn his life around and, do some positive things, he was going to be a big part of Detroit. And when he became the mayor at 31, there was big aspirations. Some people really thought that he maybe had a chance to be president one day. So maybe he can pick up and get righted and do the right thing and make Detroit proud again of Kwame Kilpatrick.
You think he's going to return home to Detroit?
I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe not immediately, but maybe at some point. I mean, home is home, and at some point, you want to, like LeBron went back to Cleveland, so maybe Kwame will come back to Detroit.
I can see it happening, man. I can't see Kwame existing anywhere else but Detroit. Like, he is Detroit personified, whether what happened you agree with or not, and he's served his time at this point. But when you think Detroit, you think Gators, you think, you think the Buffs, and you think Kwame. Those things all go together. You have another question? Actually, I got a question for you, Rob. And once again, not sports related, but Corey related. Do you have a good Corey story that you could tell us? Just, even if it's just complimenting the hell out of this guy. Like, is there any time he screwed up? Is there any time that he didn't show up on time? Like, we want some dirt on Corey because he's just like a perfect worker all the time.
That's who he is. He was that when I first met him. Always on time, always about his business. I'm not surprised. He's a worker. He's a go-getter. And again, I admire guys like that. Like when we met and he forced the issue about, telling me what he wanted to do and how he could get involved. And, guys like that are guys who make it. A lot of people, they wait around and hope that someone's going to pick them. That's not how it goes. And especially in this business, you got to have a guy who goes after it. So I'm not surprised he's up there with you guys. I'm happy he is. And I think he gives a nice voice for all people, especially Detroiters. And I'm happy. I'm thrilled on where he is. And the sky's the limit for Corey.
If you could give him one piece of advice right now, what would it be?
Go to my barbershop, Sporty Cuts, and get a haircut. Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
And you know what? I was literally just texting. I literally put my barber in the chat like, hey, Moose, I got to get in the barbershop. I'm looking bad up here right now.
That's amazing.
He knew you were going to be on with him today, too, man.
You know what? I will say this. He's like Big Brother, but also sometimes imparts fatherly advice because the same thing I'll hear him say, I'll hear my dad say the same thing. Like, he just said it about the bar, but my dad was like, dude, do something with this.
Yeah, we're on TV kind of, Corey, so you got to straighten up, man. Yeah. And thank you for that, Rob. Maybe he'll come in fresh looking tomorrow.
I am.
Well, I appreciate you having me, and I have nothing but love for Detroit, even though I'm in Los Angeles now. And my 20 years in Detroit were awesome. It's a big part of my career. And, I still have a barbershop on 7 Mile, and I'm still a part of the community, even though if I'm not living there now. So I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks a lot, Rob.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Rob.
Rob Parker. You could list a million titles that he's had, but most of all, just kind of an ambassador for Detroit while he was here, like you said, for 20 years. Thank him so much for joining us. Art, let's take a quick little break. We'll be back in about 30 seconds or so, and we'll talk a little bit more sports. Plus, I think there's a dog in the house with Detroit Dog Rescue.
Dogs in the house.
Dogs in the house. And it is Wednesday. The reason why Joey's got a huge smile on his face, there's a puppy running around the studio right now. And come over here.
He loves fish.
Yeah, come
Puppy
over here.
loves fish.
There he goes. Can I pick him up? Is he good like that?
You can try. She might get a little bit scared, but you can try.
Okay,
or
come here.
I can grab her too if you
Come
want.
here, puppy. Come here.
Girl, it's okay.
This is the puppy that we're trying to get adopted today. Welcome to the show, puppy. And introduce yourself too.
I'm Bridget. I work at DDR. I'm the care coordinator. Today I brought Twirl.
Get up on the mic real quick.
Sorry.
There you go.
Today I brought Twirl. She is probably around like 6 months old. She's still new to us, but she's definitely still a puppy. So looking for an active home.
No, it's okay. You can keep talking. Go ahead.
Twirl, that's a great name. I love that name.
Yeah, it is. It definitely fits her.
Come here, Twirl.
Oh, yeah.
Corey, can you grab the dog? You're running all over the place. Come here, Twirl. No.
Looking at Corey trying to track down this dog might be my new favorite thing.
All right, so Detroit Dog Rescue, they're Detroit's no-kill dog shelter, and we've been having them in here weekly, bringing in puppies, and they're bringing in all types of dogs. What kind of dog is Pearl?
She's some type of terrier mix. I don't know exactly. She probably won't get too big, though. Maybe gain like 20 more pounds, so she won't be too big of a dog, which is nice.
Okay, yeah, she's a beautiful puppy.
Yes.
What's her story? Where did you find her?
She came to us as an owner surrender, unfortunately. I think her previous owner bit off more than she could chew, but she's in our care now, so she's looking for a foster or forever home.
Yeah, she's a happy puppy, man.
She is.
Very happy puppy. Corey, I think we may have found you a new dog.
Dude, Corey's like a dog whisperer over here. Calm the dog Twirl down so quickly. But that's the thing about Detroit Dog Rescue is the way that they take care of dogs. You know, dogs that are on the loose, that need the help and that need the love. Anytime DDR comes in and they bring dogs, we end up getting them homes, and that's really like the biggest thing about this is just finding a happy home for these happy dogs, as you see with Twirl.
Yeah, and if you can't adopt a dog, we talk about this every week. Like this number just still blows my mind. $5 will feed this dog for an entire week. So if you got an extra $5 in your pocket and you want to do something nice and help out DDR, these are the type of people that we love to help out inside Detroit, inside the city, because they go into places that most people wouldn't even go. They save dogs. I follow you guys on social media. All the stories that you have with all these beautiful animals and how you treat them so well. It's just really great to have you guys in the community.
Thank you. We really appreciate that. We couldn't do it without you guys. So.
How long you been with DDR, Bridget?
6 years.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And do you have a dog? Have you adopted one?
I have. She's a little 20-pound Cavalier, so she's
nice.
a little more bougie dog.
That's what my mom had. My mom had a Cavalier.
They're the best.
They are
really
great dogs. My mom had a dog named Annie. That was her name. Yeah.
Nice.
You don't gotta apologize about bougie dogs. We're in Birmingham.
Yeah, we're in Birmingham.
You see these dogs, man? They eat better than we do for lunch.
That's very true.
So if you're looking for a new puppy, they have plenty to adopt, and you can go. You could go online and check out all their profiles and all that good stuff. It's really fun to go on there, and you can find which dogs are available. You can find the one that'll suit your home. And they have senior dogs, you have young dogs, you have puppies. So if you're looking for a dog, DetroitDogRescue.com. And like I said, if you can't adopt a dog, you can always help by sharing the post. You can always help by donating $5 and get these guys into a home, because it's getting cold, and this is the time that we got to get them into a spot.
Sorry, I'm chopping your legs off.
Yeah, what are you doing, man? Yeah, I'll hold it.
Oh, he got treats?
Yeah, no, he's good.
Thank you, Bridget.
Yeah,
Seriously,
thank you so
appreciate
much, Bridget.
in.
Art, let's hit another break, and we'll be right back. We're going to snap up a picture with the doggy so we can get it up.
You're a good girl.
Good dog.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Thank you. We're on. Yeah, man, it's always so fun and so random when those dogs come in.
There's a treat on the floor right there. There's one last left. You gonna eat it?
No, hell no.
Come on, do it.
Hell no.
Do it.
So thank you to the Detroit Dog Rescue for coming through every week. I love how they bring the dogs in, and people love dogs, man.
You
I love
gotta
my
love
dog.
dogs. I mean, the biggest thing too, like, we're gonna work on making this Puppy Bowl happen.
Yes.
We are not gonna take no for an answer. Puppy Bowl 2021 is going down.
I'm looking forward to that. It was cool to have Rob Parker on, man. Was that fun for you? Like, how does that feel?
It was like, I thought about it last night. I'm like, wow, I'm about to, with my coworkers, I'm about to interview the guy who gave me my shot. That is like almost like a full circle moment. So that was pretty dope. I gotta admit.
That's awesome.
I wanted to share the whole story when I first had met Rob Parker, when he was Parker and the Man.
Yeah.
When I was still working at my Subway job, and they both came in. And I was like looking at them both, and that's kind of like when I started talking about the whole industry and what they were doing as well. So it was kind of cool to see them both together like that.
Yeah, no, Rob Parker's the man. He's definitely had some controversy in his career, and anybody who can stand that heat, I admire.
You know what's interesting? He was shared a video yesterday that I was before he posted it of the people that he's mentored, and in the video was Stephen A. Smith saying that he would not be where he is today if it were not for Rob Parker, because he was about to quit sports journalism, and go get a job at Wachovia Bank.
Wow. Can you imagine Stephen A. Smith with your banking? Like,
that'd be so great.
Your number's wrong. How stupid are you? It's only 4 zeros.
You only got 2,000 in the bank. Why are you taking this much out?
You broke ass. Why are you trying to take out money you don't have?
You like walk in with J's. You only got like 200 in the bank. You know why you got them J's on? Spend your money wiser.
Here. I'll buy the shoes off you right now, just so you have damn money in your pocket. Like I could not see Stephen A. Smith as a bank teller.
That'd be great.
But man, just think about that. You could have been working at a bank. Now you're making bank because you're making $10 million a year.
Oof, that's how much Stephen A. Smith makes?
Yeah, he's the highest paid on ESPN, $10 million per year.
Good Lord, no wonder they had to fire everybody.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, $10 million, that's a lot, but the dude kills it.
I get it, but damn, that's $10 million, bro.
Hey, he's producing that, obviously. They're not just throwing the millions at him like that.
Can you imagine if one day Woodward Sports, like, we keep growing and we keep growing and we become a national thing, and we have somebody that works for us that makes $10 million? That would be crazy.
Damn, what am I going to be making?
That's the
what
thing.
If that's Corey?
Hey,
you want to go work? You want to go work at the bank,
Corey?
Ideas, Corey. You want to go work at the bank, Corey?
Ah, man, I just want a $10 raise.
So that's cool, though. That's cool that Rob Parker plays that mentor role, and he plays it really well. And there's not a lot of people like that. A lot of people, especially in the entertainment industry, everything's so guarded. And it's like, this is mine. This is mine.
Because you don't want to help people succeed in the industry because you think that's going to hurt you.
You think it's going to push you down.
And it doesn't work like that. If you think like that, you're just scared.
Right.
And I think one thing I appreciate about him is that when you call him or text him, if he doesn't answer immediately, you're going to hear back from him within the 15 minutes. Even if he's on air, he'll just send you like, quick, hey, on air, get you as soon as I get off.
I mean, that's a great trait to have. And
I wish Stick was like that. I texted him yesterday at 2 p.m. Left me on red. I'm still waiting for a reply.
Why, you think I'm bad about that shit too, Art?
You are literally the worst texter backer ever. Like, ever.
Really?
And like, to the point to where, like, but it's taught me to handle my own bullshit instead of texting you about it. So, I mean, a mission accomplished. But yeah, I refuse to text you. You're the worst at it.
I ain't gonna lie.
I refuse to text you.
For the first,
everyone's coming at it.
For the first month, even though you did give me a shot, I was like, does he like me? He's not responding to my text.
Yeah. You start thinking,
wrong? Am I getting fired tomorrow?
You two are sensitive on that.
Yeah, a lot of times you guys text me statements that don't require a response.
Just give me the thumbs up emoji. That's all that you gotta do.
Are you that insecure that I can't read your statement?
My mother never loved me. Yes, I am insecure.
I'm needy, damn it.
Okay, well, Corey, I love you.
Thank you. I don't need those texts back. I was just calling you up.
Damn.
But with them, I need you to text back like 6 replies.
You know who I text back fastest? Fish.
What?
Fish always gets a text. No, we don't even text. Fish doesn't even have my number, man.
Yeah, because Fish too busy watching all them sports. He ain't thinking about us.
Yeah, well, guys, I'll get better at that. That's just part of, I don't want to lean on my ADD, but that's just part of it. Sometimes I'll, like, read a text, be like, okay, cool. 9 hours later, I'll be like, oh, my God, Corey texted me about something.
Here's my thing. it's cool if you don't text me back, but turn off your damn read receipts. I don't like seeing red.
Yes, that's the problem that I have.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I don't care that you don't want to text me back because it's not important, okay? I get that. But turn off your read receipts so it says delivered, so I feel like, oh, well, maybe he just went for cigarettes and never came back, okay? That's fine.
But my read receipts are on, so you know I read it.
I'd rather have you not read it. Don't respond then.
But you
and
want
don't
an
read it.
emoji to show you that I read it. But when the phone fucking tells you he read it, that's not good enough.
No. What I'm saying is this: it's like opening up a letter that you got in the mailbox and throwing it on the ground. Just don't open it and don't read it.
The read
back.
receipt is a serious thing. It's like people really interpret it like, oh, you read it? Okay.
Yep.
I'm waiting.
Yep.
I'm waiting. Oh, F me.
Like when I say to you, hey, Stick, I got this, that's done, and this, that's done, and you read it and don't respond, I start thinking like, oh, hey, it's like the old radio days. I'm losing my job.
No, it's, oh my God, he didn't ask me a question. He doesn't need a solution. He's updating me on something. Got it. Moving on.
Don't look at me to side with you.
How long would it take for you just to even thumbs up the text? Like, you know how you can do that with iPhone?
Too long.
Give me a bullshit.
You're not worth that reply from Stick.
I'm turning my mic on.
It worked, guys.
Thank you,
It
Joey.
worked.
Finally. Joey, you want to talk about Yaldo Eye Center?
I do.
All right.
Because
I do.
I just want to see through this hate right now in this room. Because the Yaldo Eye Center is the place to be if you just want to give yourself the greatest gift, and that is vision. I got 2015 vision. I know you do as well. The Yaldo Eye Center is the best. I'm talking best of vision and best of price, because you might hear, oh, it's expensive, but think about all the contacts, glasses that you're pitching towards. Just call right now your free evaluation at 1-800-398-EYES. It's 1-800-398-EYES, or go to YaldoEyeCenter.com.
Well, you know what time it is, Joey?
Fish facts.
It's time for the fish fact of the day. Bang. Oh wait, I got actually
got
music
real
now.
music.
Yeah,
we don't got to make our beds no more.
I don't have to do the bang, bang, bang. We got fish facts coming through every day at 9:50. We bring on this lovely young man, and I love that shirt you're wearing today, Fish.
Had to wear it. They won last night.
They did in overtime. Did you stay up and watch the game?
I did. It was a good win.
What a way to end, too.
Right.
Off of that Lark pass.
Good pass.
Great.
Is that what you're calling them? Lark?
Yeah, it's Larks.
Cool. Fish, let's get into your fact of the day. If you don't know, if you're new to the show, every day at 9:50, Fish comes on with a random fact, because Fish loves all sports from all over the world. Sports that I don't really follow, and I just love when he brings these random facts to the table, because I like to learn.
And it's always from Fox Sports Australia, I realized.
That's Fish's main source of information. What you got today, Fishy?
All right, so these are kind of a few facts. The Olympics are going to rise in cost by 22%.
So
expenses?
To put them on, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, COVID.
And they've gone up an additional $2.8 billion by the 1 year from 2020 to 2021.
Wow, so that's costing Tokyo an extra $2.8 billion because they moved it a year?
That's U.S.
Wow.
So they did a poll. They did a telephone poll. 1,200 people from Japanese broadcaster NHK.
Okay.
Notice I say H instead of H.
Killing it.
27% of people, only 27% of people said the game should be held.
Oh, so they don't even want to have the Olympics in Tokyo.
Yeah, they don't even want it.
I mean, I'd want the Olympics here. Put them in a bubble. If we can do the NBA, we can do the Olympics.
Especially it's the Olympics. Like, you always want to see the Olympics going down, but given the current circumstances,
63% said postponed or canceled. They didn't specify which one.
Do you want the Olympics canceled or no?
No, heck no. I want them on.
Yeah.
Dude, Fish, I could see turning on like soccer at 4 in the morning, making sure he doesn't miss a play.
I'm a big fan of, I love when golf plays West Coast majors, because it's on till like 10 o'clock. That's the best.
That is the best. Well, thank you, Fish, for your fish fact. That was a great one today, man. I did not know that it cost them so much money in Tokyo to switch the Olympics by a year. So thank you very much for your fish fact.
Yes, one more. They're trying to get money so that they can raise it. They have 70 sponsors that have contributed $3.3 billion.
Good Lord. Were you one of them?
Domestic sponsors.
Did you donate your Lexus?
No,
Fish is always balling. So thank you, buddy. We appreciate your fish facts. And everybody in here, they go nuts for you in the comments when you come
Fishy.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Tell everybody you love them.
You guys are the best.
Thank you, Fish. Joey, you want to get into your dumbass of the day?
Yeah, so the big hashtag this week has been don't be a Marlowe. After Detroit Free Press, Marlo Alter dropped that article about Dan Campbell over his controversial remark, right? So that's what this dumbass is going to be. It's a similar instance where, Marlo, how he tried to throw Dan Campbell under the bus when he was the one that was at fault for things that he said in the past. This dumbass is a 22-year-old guy named Elliot who stole a truck from a towing company in Chicago.
All right.
The owner of this actual truck pulled a gun out on him to make sure he doesn't steal his car, right? The guy who stole that truck called 911 on him for pulling out a gun like a freaking idiot. So he called 911 on himself for pretty much stealing this truck. So hashtag don't be a Marlo again.
Yeah, and Joey, we got the you're a dumbass back.
You're an ass.
Dumbass. You're an ass. But yeah, if you're going to commit crimes, when crimes are committed back against you, don't be a little bitch and call the cops.
Don't. That's not how it works.
Right. If you're man enough to steal a car, you're man enough to have a gun pulled on you.
Exactly. You're man enough to get shot, apparently.
That is a crazy. Where was that?
This was Chicago.
Chicago?
Yep.
Yeah. Chicago's a crazy city. You ever lived in Chicago?
My cousin lives in Chirac.
Oh. You dropped the Chirac on us?
It's real. When I was there during All-Star Weekend, I had to go stay at his house for my last night there, and I ain't gonna front. When I got off that train with all my camera equipment, that was the longest 3 blocks I had to walk in my life.
Ooh, you made it though.
I made it.
Especially got all that gear on you too.
Yeah,
they know them bags.
I wasn't worried about me walking. I was worried about me walking with the gear.
I can see Corey at gunpoint. Listen, shoot me, just don't take my gear.
I'd be like,
no, that's really.
So come on, man. Like, what are we doing?
Listen, I'll give you a free photo shoot, whatever you need.
Corey just gets all calm and shit.
Take the equipment. Just let me have my hard drives.
You're right. For real.
Well, thank you guys for waking up with the Morning Woodward Show this morning. Baligian and Bell are coming up next. And we'll be back on tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Joey will be here. Corey will be here. Art will be here. Fish will be here with his facts. Make sure you're tuning in at 11 a.m. to Baligian and Bell. We'll see you tomorrow.